All right, let's talk about something that drives so many of us crazy. That nagging debt that just won't go away, and all those subscriptions that seem to pop up out of nowhere. We're going to dive into how AI can actually become your secret weapon to finally get a handle on it all.
Wow, this quote, it just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling of being totally stuck. You feel like you're making progress, chipping away at a credit card bill, and then, bam, you get knocked right back down by some forgotten free trial that just auto-renewed. It's this constant, super stressful cycle.
So let's actually take a good hard look at this mountain we're supposed to be climbing. Because a lot of the time, the real problem is bigger and kind of hidden in plain sight.
And that's the real double whammy right there. On one side, you've got what I call subscription creep. A streaming service here, a fancy app there. Each one feels small, but together they add up to this massive drain on your account. And on the other side, you've got the cold, hard math of compound interest, which is literally working against you 24/7.
Now this is where it gets really interesting, because this shows a huge shift in how we can manage money. For years, budgeting apps have been fine. They're good at showing you the problem. They're like a passive report card saying, yep, you're over budget again. But AI-powered tools, they are totally different. They're active players on your team designed to actually do something about it.
And this is where things get really cool. Let's meet a couple of these automated allies that can help you start clearing a path right up that financial mountain. So first up, you have a tool like Rocket Money. You should really think of this one as your personal financial detective and your negotiator. It automatically sniffs out every single recurring payment, even the ones you completely forgot about. And here's the magic. With just one tap, you can tell it to cancel a subscription for you. Even better, it'll go to bat for you and actually negotiate a lower rate on things like your cable or internet bill. Now, building on that, you have something like Cleo, which is less of a negotiator and more like a personal finance coach, with a bit of a personality. It actually analyzes how you spend and turns saving money into a kind of game, setting up fun little challenges to help you build better habits. And it can automatically siphon off little bits of cash to put straight towards your debt.
Okay, this all sounds pretty great, but how do you actually get started? Well, the good news is it's way simpler than you might think. Here's a really straightforward action plan.
Seriously, it's just 4 steps. First, you just pick an app and download it. Second, you securely link your accounts. That's how the AI sees what's going on. Third, and this is the really satisfying part, you go through that big list of subscriptions it finds and just start tapping cancel, cancel, cancel. And finally, you set your target, that one credit card you really hate, and you just turn on the automatic savings features.
And hey, for anyone who wants to take this to the next level, here is a fantastic pro tip. You can actually use a general AI tool like ChatGPT as your own personal financial planner. You just feed it a list of your debts, the balances, the interest rates, and you ask it to create a debt snowball plan. It will instantly map out the smartest, fastest strategy to pay everything off.
But of course, with any tool this powerful, it's always smart to read the fine print. So let's be totally transparent and look at both the good and the potential downsides.
So here is the trade-off you need to think about. The upside is huge. You're saving a ton of time and, more importantly, real money. But the downside is all about trust. You're giving an app access to your financial data, so you have to be comfortable with their security and privacy policies. And yeah, keep in mind that some of the best features might be behind a paywall, so you just have to ask yourself if that small fee is worth the money you're going to save. So, after looking at the problem, the tools, and the trade-offs, what is the big takeaway here? What does your path forward actually look like?
And this is really it. Look, these tools are not a magic wand. They won't make your debt just disappear overnight, but they are a massive leap forward. They automate all the boring, stressful parts of managing money, which gives you the clarity and the momentum you need to make real, steady progress.
Ultimately, technology is giving us brand new ways to solve these really old problems. It's about using these smart tools to make smarter choices. So the only question left is the one right here on the screen.